Okay, can you all see my screen now? Just want to make sure.
Yes, we can.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, well, thank you so much. As Devika said, my name is Alice, and I am the international recruiter for Transylvania University. I'm the Assistant Director of International Recruitment. And Transylvania University is located in the middle of Lexington, Kentucky, and Kentucky is in the middle of the eastern part of the US. This is an overview of our campus with the city in the background. Lexington is considered a mid-sized city, and I know that compared to mid-sized cities in India, we are probably just a small town, but we're about 300,000 people in Lexington. And as you can see, the city's right on our doorstep, so it gives our students lots of opportunities to access social and cultural opportunities, as well as professional activities as well. We are well ranked. We are one of the top 100 liberal arts universities in the US, and we have a very good success rate with our graduates. A number that we like to share is that within 6 months of graduating from Transylvania, 95% of our students are either in a job or in a graduate program. And you can see that some of our graduate placements are here on the screen. We have 90% success in placement in medical programs, graduate medical programs, and 100% success in law programs post-Transylvania. So we really get invested in student success. And one reason we like to partner with NextGenius is that you're able to learn about universities like Transylvania or like Center College that Mril is going to talk about in a little bit, that you probably had never heard of before right now. So, and you know, there's so many universities in the US, this is just a great opportunity for you to explore. Well, do that. Okay. Trying to figure out how to change my. There we go. You'd think after a year and a half of Zoom meetings, I would have figured this out. So in general, four-year liberal arts universities and colleges, you probably already know that the terms university and college are interchangeable in the US. So when we say universities and colleges, we're basically referring to a four-year bachelor's degree program in general, and especially for your purposes right now with NextGenius. So when we're talking about liberal arts universities, the vast majority of the 4,000 universities in the US are liberal arts. And that just means that you are going to be, in addition to studying your major, you're going to be studying other things as well. We want to make sure that you're well-rounded. We want to make sure that you're able to think outside of your major. Let's say you're a physics major. We want to make sure that you can say, if you're faced with a problem, not just, well, I'm a physics major and that's not a physics problem, but well, I learned about this and I learned about this, and I can put these ideas together and really come up with a solution that would work. So for instance, at Transylvania University, we are a liberal arts university. So while you're with us for 4 years for your bachelor's degree, you're going to take about 1/3 of your classes within your major. You're going to take about 1/3 of your classes in what we call general education, or GE, and you will have to do a combination of some examples here: literature, science, social sciences, language, health, math. I forgot to add math in there. I have a block about math. And so it's really up to you. You have to choose from certain categories, but within those categories, there are a lot of options. And then there's 1/3 that's sort of a free choice for you. You might use it for a second major, you might use it for a minor, you might use it to take more classes in your major beyond the minimum required. It just kind of depends, because we know, and this is going to happen at any university in the US, that as you're going through your 4 years, you're going to discover topics, subjects that you never heard of before and didn't know you were interested in or were good at. You might discover professors that you want to work with that are studying something you never knew existed before, and you get really excited about that. So we want to make sure that there is space for you to explore. So you're not just going in and studying only physics and physics. We want to make sure that you're able to sort of step outside of that a little bit, maybe take a theater class, take another language, things like that. So for most liberal arts universities in the US, even though you might know what you want to study, while you're there, the program you want to study, the major you want to pursue. You don't apply directly to the major, you apply to the university. And keep in mind that with just about everything you're going to hear about US universities, it always depends. So every university can set their own rules for how you apply. They can set their own deadlines for how you apply. They can set their own expectations for how you access the program you want to study. So you're just going to have to spend a lot of time researching and just clicking around on websites, asking representatives like me. Every university has somebody like me that can help you with this process. So for instance, at Transylvania, you just apply to Transylvania University. Once you get about a year and a half into your studies, that's when you declare your major. You're going to say, I would now like to, formally pursue the business major. And that's great. You can change that too if you want to. There are just lots of opportunities. The only difference might be with universities with technology in their name, Georgia Tech, Cal Tech, Virginia Tech, that ask you to start directly into a program. And they have less general education requirements than other universities do. So again, most universities have dozens, sometimes hundreds of majors. We have over 46 and the ability to design your own as well. So some popular majors for international students are listed here. And this just basically means that maybe these are programs that students identified as easily transferable to maybe a graduate program they want to do or to whatever they want to pursue once they get back to their home country. This doesn't mean that this is the limitation for international students. And it certainly doesn't mean that you have to do one of these. This is just sort of something that has been identified. These are areas that have been identified as of particular interest for international students who are studying in the US. Now, again, because there are 4,000 universities, over 4,000 universities in the US, and we all get to do our own thing. We get to design our own programs. We get to name our majors whatever we want. So one university that has economics as a major might be calling economics something different. It might be called business economics or something like that. So just keep in mind that similar names are going to look different at each university. So just pursuing, looking, if you do a search on a psychology major, there might be different labels for that major across different universities. So make sure you're just keeping your eyes wide open and you're kind of looking at all the different combinations that are out there. So within the major, all of the ones in the bullets here would be considered a potential liberal arts major. Certainly we have these at Transylvania. And every semester you can take different types of classes. So every semester there aren't the exact same courses offered. So you might be looking at, we'll give an example of me. I was an English literature major at Transylvania University. And so one whole semester I spent studying Milton. It was not fun, but we did it. You might have an entire semester that you spend in one class looking at Shakespeare's tragedies. You might spend an entire semester on 19th century women novelists in North America. So it gets very specific. You're not just taking an English class or an English literature class. So you really get to choose. There's so many different options. And on every university website, including ours, you can actually click on the major and look at all the list of courses that are available throughout the 4 years. And again, those aren't all available every single semester, but you're going to sort of pick and choose among them as you move through your 4 years. This all sounds very complicated. You're not going to do this alone, especially someplace small like Transylvania or a center where Mril is headed. We are small enough that we're going to make sure that you have an advisor working with you every step of the way to answer your questions and to help you with this process. Because there are so many doors that are open for you at universities, at liberal arts universities, especially small ones in the US, that it's hard to pick and choose and hard to know what to do. So you will have advisors and people you can talk to on campus that will help you with all of these processes. Within the major, again, you're going to have, and again, it depends on the different universities, you'll have opportunities for job shadowing, study abroad, specializations. In some subjects, you'll be able to help your professors with research. And in some subjects, you'll be able to conduct your own research. So definitely ask about that when you're looking at specific majors. What opportunities are there for an undergraduate student to conduct research, to write papers for scholarly magazines and publications? Those are all opportunities that will help you decide what you want to do with your next step and get to that next step as well. And then again, for every university in the US, we are very tied to your success being our success. We want to make sure that you don't just walk out the door with your psychology major in hand and say, now what? We're going to help you with that next step and make sure that you have, an answer for that now what question. What does that mean? Where are you going to be after you leave us? And we want to make sure that we keep up with you after that and make sure that you are happy and successful wherever you land. So with technical universities, again, I'm sorry to always say this, but it depends on the university, whether you apply directly into the program or if you have some time to try some different courses before you declare your major. So oftentimes with technical universities, you do tell them exactly what you want to study and you start that from the minute you walk in the door. They might not have the same general education requirements as liberal arts universities, but you will have to take some probably reading and writing classes because technical universities have figured out that a scientist is better prepared for the real world if she or he can present their ideas and research findings to the audience, making sure that they can communicate all these wonderful things they've discovered to people who need to know. So they're going to make sure that you are prepared with that. So probably not as many general education requirements, but there might be some that would be directly related to your tech major. And again, all of the rest applies, different opportunities for research, different opportunities for job shadowing, all of those things that are going to help you get to that next step. You're also going to hear about pre-professional programs, and this is where it gets even more complicated. Again, we're going to have time for questions here at the end, but keep in mind that, again, every university has somebody like me to help you with this. Pre-professional programs are sort of like a track that you're following along while you're studying your major. So you can pick any major. Again, we'll go with English literature. You can be an English literature major and be in the pre-medical track or the pre-medical pathway or the pre-medical pre-professional program. Now, as you're going along that advising track, if you're an English major, you're still going to have to take a bunch of science classes to make sure that you're ready to apply to medical programs. Same thing if you're going to apply to pharmacy programs or to law programs. So the pre-professional track is going to help you make sure that you are hitting all the targets you need to hit in order to apply to and be accepted to and be successful in the graduate program of your choice. So whether it's some sort of medical program or pharmacy, law, in the cases, the examples that we have here. We're going to help you with the timing of taking your entrance exams for those programs. We're going to help you with prep for those entrance exams. We're going to connect you with, like it says at the bottom here, professional groups that are going to help you. A lot of times, national and international professional groups have a student sort of cohort within them that you could join while you're thinking about medical school or law school. It's just another way to get to know the profession that you think you're interested in. So again, with Transylvania as an example, you're going to see lists like this when you're looking at universities in the US. And we're a fairly small university. We only have about 1,000 students. So this list is quite short compared to what some other big universities might be able to offer. But keep in mind that you can major in anything that you want to. So you don't have to know right away. Now you might know that you want to major in business, but then you look at the list and there are 5 different business majors available to you. Again, you don't have to decide before you arrive on campus. You can try out some of them. You can spend some time taking a bunch of different classes. You'll also notice that Transylvania offers self-designed majors. And parents, before you panic, don't worry that that's not going to be a real major. These are majors that the student works together with an advisor and the registrar to put together a program. And this is actually the major that appears on their diploma. And it could be something very specific, like maybe international business or international physics. Maybe you're going to work on the International Space Station and you need to learn something very specific. So you can really combine majors to do whatever you want to do. It's again, doors are thrown open for you and it's up to you to decide which doors you would like to walk through. So in general, keep in mind that even though you're going to hear about popular programs from universities, it doesn't mean that that's kind of what you have to do, or you might ask friends and family around you what they majored in. It doesn't mean that you have to do that as well. You have some opportunities to really try different things. And I think that's probably what sets US universities apart from others in the world, that you are able to try, declare a major, maybe change that major as things change, because we do give you the 4 years, as opposed to many universities do 3 years in other countries, where you kind of direct into straight into that English literature and only doing English literature. So that's kind of an overview of popular majors when you're talking to universities. I would recommend, don't ask them what their popular majors are. Tell them what your interests are. Tell them what your favorite subject is right now. Tell them what books you like to read, and say, what could I study at your university that's related to this? Because we will all love to talk to you about that, and we would all love to help you with that pathway. All right, well, that's it for me. And I know we'll have time for questions at the end. So I'll send it back to Devika.
Thank
Stop
you.
sharing.
Thank you so much for the lovely presentation talking about popular majors, and towards the end you mentioned what you want to study, and that becomes a popular major. So very insightful on that, and very happy to know more about Transylvania University, and I think we'll always keep learning. So thank you so much, and we'll definitely take Q&A towards the end. I would now like to invite Mril, our next GIIS, full tuition next GIIS scholarship winner, to Center College, and also ask him to address his juniors at GIIS and take it forward.
All right, so good evening. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Mril D'silva, and I am the next GIIS full tuition scholar at Center College, which is located in Danville in Kentucky, which is the same state as Transylvania University. And so I'm a student at GIIS Ahmedabad, just like most of you here. And many of you might also know me well, because I've been in the school for the last 7 years, right from when the school was launched. And let me tell you, the school provides you with a platform where you can, where it encourages you to participate in several extracurriculars, tournaments, competitions, and stuff like that. So make sure to grab hold of it. These opportunities are really valuable and will help you throughout your college application process. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Personally, I'm not a topper, but I performed well and consistently throughout my high school in academics. And I also took part in several extracurricular activities, as many as I could. And I love sports. I participated in several sports tournaments, and even participated up to the national level. I also love speech and debate. I've participated in several conferences and Model United Nations, and that thing helps build your communication skills. So enough about me. Let's move on to my journey and experience of winning this next GIIS full tuition scholarship, which is gonna fund 4 years of my education, of my undergraduate education in the United States. So my journey with Next GIIS started in November in 2020, where I first got to know about Next GIIS when my dad was talking to an old relative, and they informed us that her daughter had also won a full tuition scholarship at Beloit College in Wisconsin. And her name is Soumya Gupta. She is also part of the Next GIIS community. And so she encouraged me to apply to this scholarship program. I was a little bit late, but luckily they were still taking applications, so I applied as soon as possible. There was a minimal 300 rupees registration fee, which is nothing compared to the help and services that they offer. So immediately after applying, you will have to give the tests, and this level 1 test was really well made. It included a 10th grade level maths and English and logical reasoning, and questions that will test your critical thinking ability. Personally, I would say it does not require too much preparation. So just be well versed with everything that you've studied and give it with an open mind. So after that, I passed through the test. It was really easy for me. And the next stage was the forms. Now, after you fill these forms based on your preferences, you're allotted into one of the colleges that Next Genius has tied up with. So last year, there were about 16 colleges that Next Genius tied up with. And this year, I believe there are more than 20. So that's great. And personally, back then, I was delighted to be allotted at Center College because they have a good computer science program, which is essentially what I was aiming for. So after this comes the a big important part, which is the college application process. So you have to apply to the college that you are admitted at. During this entire process, Next Genius is going to help you a lot. They will, give suggestions. They will help you if you have any queries. They will also, give a session with the admission officer of the college that you're going to apply to. So, you get an idea of what the college is and how to apply to it. So I applied through Common App. The process was pretty holistic. They assess you in every kind of way possible. Unlike something that I've not seen in Indian universities, academics are also given a huge weightage. So you have to submit your exam scores and marks from grade 9 to 12th, and they're going to assess all of that, including this application will be the essay, which is very, very important, and proof of English proficiency, your competitive examination scores, and your recommendation letters, which is these recommendation letters are often written by your teachers or mentors that know you well, and your school counselor. So make sure to keep contact with your school counselor and perform consistently in school. So yes, you don't have to worry too much about this process because it's gonna be throughout like a month or two. You're gonna get plenty of time to prepare your application and submit all of this to the college. And Next Genius is also going to help you, so I didn't have to worry a lot. And personally, I spent a lot of time on my essay because and I don't regret it. All of that time was spent well because I made a very well thought of essay that even the college officials told me that they liked. Next, after this, you have the stage of the interviews. Yeah, so before 2020, I guess these interviews were held in Mumbai, where you had to go in person and give these interviews. But last year, because of the pandemic, the lockdown restrictions, all of this was held online in two parts. So the first part was the video interview that was one-on-one with Next Genius, that was conducted by Next Genius. And this interview was like, it's more about you. Like, you should know where you're applying. You should know about the college that you're applying to. You should know why you're applying, why you are fitting into this college, why it's your best fit. And you should know who you are, like your profile. You should know what you're good at. You should know your, like in your entire resume, your achievements, stuff like that. And after that, the most important is the second interview, which is going to span over 2 days. And this is going to be held by the college admission officers and from the United States, of course. You are going to give it at home. I personally gave it right here. And my entire process I have done from home. And I was very lucky and I worked well for the scholarship, so I got it. So yes, this second interview is very important, and I found it the most interesting part of the process. So this is you can't call it an interview because it's more of a group discussion. The college officials are very approachable, they're interesting, and it's going to be very interactive. They're gonna in my interview there were a lot of activities, games, and things that assess your critical thinking ability, your creativity, your logical reasoning, your communication, and your personality in the whole. So once this important thing was completed, after a few days, we had the award session where I was awarded the full tuition scholarship, and my parents were really proud. I was really proud of myself. And yeah, after that, the process is not over there. You're given a non-binding scholarship and you have time until May 1st to decide on it. And I decided immediately that because it was my dream to study in the United States. And but the budget, of course, studying in the United States is really, really expensive. So the harder you work, the smarter you work, the more chances you have to get a scholarship and, be able to pay off that huge amount of money that you have to pay to study. So once this entire journey was over, uh, I'm not going to say it's over, because even after this, even after I was awarded the scholarship, Next Genius is still connected with me. What I found as important as the scholarship is the access to this Next Genius community. This entire atmosphere helps, motivates me to work harder. They keep connecting you with past scholars. They give you advice, and they make you attend webinars with people who have the best knowledge in this field. And they will also, keep approaching you throughout the process. They personally, Radha ma'am and Anant Narayan sir, they kept calling me whenever I had any doubts or any difficulties, even the slightest ones. So I'd like to thank them. Even Devika was really helpful. So thank you, Devika. Thank you. I think Radha ma'am and Anant Narayan sir are here as well. So yeah, uh, that's what I found really interesting and important about this Next Genius community. Also, before I finish off, I'd like to thank my parents. I'd like to thank the Next Genius community, of course, and my teachers, some of whom are present here as well, Zilmil ma'am and Gayatri ma'am. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mil. We just wanted to keep hearing out you more. You rejuvenated the entire journey for us, and I'm sure it would have been very exciting for Alice, as Transylvania University is our new partner. So Alice got to know how the whole thing works from a scholar's point of view. And welcome to the two teachers who joined from GIIS in the session. And it was really very exciting to hear you. Before we move to Q&A, I would quickly like to just share my screen and show something to the GIIS students. Okay, so here's a quick overview of how you can register. So you go to our website, that is nextgenius.com. After you visit our website, as Mril mentioned, you apply. To apply, you will see a small button here in yellow color, in ochre color, which is apply now. Once you apply, you get directed to the registration, and then you also get directed to the level 1 test. So we usually recommend to take the level 1 test from 72 hours of registration. The reason being so is you get access to enriching webinars and informations, again, as mentioned by Mril, and obviously a close connection with Team Next Genius. So that's it about how you have to apply. And here's a quick glance at all our partner colleges for the year 2020. So we are very happy that last year we were 15, and this year with Transylvania University, we are 20 in number now. So here's a quick list I would just quickly recall. We have Beloit College, Center College, College of Charleston, Ithaca College, Juniata College, Knox College, Lewis and Clark College, Lynn University, Millsaps College, Muhlenberg College, Northwestern University in Qatar, Ohio Wesleyan University, Syracuse University, Texas Christian University, Sewanee, the University of the South, Transylvania University, welcome again, Alice, Trinity College, Union College, Wentworth Institute of Technology, and Wheaton College in Massachusetts. So these are our 20 exceptional liberal arts and sciences college and universities in the US that we are partnered with. So I once again welcome all of you on behalf of my team to apply for the Next Genius Scholarship Program and begin your life-changing journey and attend one of the other sessions next year and become a senior to your incoming juniors. So we would now like to open the floor for Q&A. There's a little technical issue with the chat box, so y'all can raise your hands and we can unmute yourself, you to ask questions to Alice, to Mril, to us. So yes, feel free to raise your hand.